What's up, guys? So today I'm going to be continuing the story times concerning my uh, film career, um, as it were, um, and this one is a particularly special one, considering the sort of um, realization and acceptance that I have come to um, in the last week concerning what will actually be part of this story as it happens. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. Okay, so for those of you who have been watching for a while, you will know that I go as much as I possibly can when it's on to the Northwest Film Festival, which is held up in Inverell, which is where I went to high school and subsequently learned how to make film. Um, so one year, it was either 2013 or 2014, I can't remember exactly, um, but we had pocket filmmaker Jason Van Genderen as one of our sort of industry professional guest judges, and he gave a masterclass and stuff, and it was really a really interesting festival to go to that particular year. But he also made uh, a documentary about the festival, um, and I helped out with that. So the way it happened was I had actually come up to, I believe I'd come up to visit my. Now I'm confusing myself. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened. I think I had to come up to visit, and I caught the bus out. I do distinctly remember catching the bus out. So I think I'd come up to visit. Um, anyway, I got on the bus, and it got out there at about 8:30 in the morning, which was well before anyone else was turning up for it. That's for sure. And so while I was sort of waiting for all of the day's events to start getting underway, I was just sort of, I was basically loitering around the front of the theatre that it was being held at in this particular year. And across the road, I saw my TAFE teacher talking to two of the judges. At that time, I did not know who they were. So I just sort of went across to say hello, good morning, and ended up being involved in sort of the very first shots of the documentary of the day, by holding a reflector board to reflect sunlight onto the side of my film teacher's face to sort of fill in the darkness. Give you a sort of example, it'd basically be like me turning this on so that the shadow goes away. So I was sort of filling in to make it look more sort of natural and not so much like there was like light and dark sides sort of thing. So I ended up doing that. We then went in around about 9:30. Sort of got a small group of people together, went out, and I did various things throughout the day, holding boom mics, doing the clapper loader, which is where you get the little clapper board to sort of help sync up sound for the editors. And yeah, so I'd done a couple of different things throughout the day, and then as it got sort of in towards the afternoon and people had sort of realised that there's not really much to do and sort of started leaving, and our group started getting smaller and smaller, got to the end of the day, and they had gotten to the point where the only shots they needed were their interviews as guest judges. So the Jason and Shane Emmett, who was the other filmmaker, he's also done acting and stuff. So one of them needed to be sitting next to the camera so that the eye line wasn't directly down the camera lens. So it sort of feels a little bit more natural. So he needed to be sitting there, which means that he couldn't actually be working the camera and operating the camera. And then obviously the other was in front of the camera, so therefore couldn't operate the camera from behind. So they needed a third person, and they asked me to. So, you know, obviously by this point, knowing who they were, what they'd done, the fact that they'd won awards and stuff before, was kind of a honestly, it felt like a little bit of a reward for being there since 8:30 that morning, considering this was now at about 4:30 in the afternoon. So it was, yeah, it was a long day of filming, and then, yeah, they went off and edited that night, came back, and we got to see the finished product the next day. So it was literally within 24 hours from start to finish, creating this documentary about the film festival, which I will leave a link to in the description. It is on YouTube, you can go and watch it, and I would actually really like it if you could go and check it out. A lot of really cool people did a lot of really good work, considering that there were only really 2 industry grade professionals on the team. I think it turned out pretty good, and it is to this day one of the things that I can sort of wave in front of my best friend's face, because when I told her that I worked with Jason Van Genderen, she sort of freaked out a little bit. So it's always the bonus when you can sort of rub it in someone else's nose. And she ended up going to the film festival the year later, and he was there again. So it's not like I'm rubbing it in her face that she's never met him or anything. It's, yeah. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. I will finish this before I start rambling too much. Again, I will leave a link to Northwest Not Out in the description down below. Please go and check it out. You can also follow me on my social medias. Links for that's in the description as well. Make sure you hit the subscription button and the notification bell to be notified when I upload new videos. I am in the process of organising this month's videos. I've got to sort of be a little bit wary though. Next 2 weeks are school holidays, which means that my nephew's around. So uploads may become a little bit off schedule, but I will try to upload as much as I can. And then, yeah. So, yeah, with all of that out of the way, night to A2, and I'll check you guys later.